Okay, this is Beulah Stang, and she is a great friend of mine and also a student here at SPC. And I thought she had a really, really great story to tell, so I wanted her to tell us. Beulah, if you could tell me about the time your dad went hunting. How old were you?
Oh, I was not even born yet.
Oh, okay.
This is my bedtime stories my dad used to tell us, and we loved hearing from him because he was such a great storyteller. And so we would always say before he would tuck us in, and we would say, "Papa, tell us about the time you went hunting," you know. So here it goes. My dad was born in a Hindu family, and he was a high caste. So, and their pastime hobby was to do hunting. So whenever my dad went hunting in jungles, my dad would always send, my grandfather would always send 4 or 5 people to protect him. Mm-hmm. And so when they were in a jungle one day, his best friend would always say to him, "I am going to get a lion. I'm going to get a lion." And my father would always thought that he was joking around and stuff. But then one time when they had gone to the jungle, my dad said that they made a machan. And the machan is like a cot strapped together between the branches on the high above in the tree. And then they would tie the goat on the bottom, the tree trunk. Mm-hmm. So the lion would come, and that's when my father would shoot it. So anyway, well, that night nothing happened. And so my father's best friend said, "Oh, I'll go and get him out." So and he went to what you can call it, cave, and then he was just yelling and screaming, according to my father, and he would say, I'm going to translate for you in English, and he said, I'm here to get you, come out." And then my father and his friends are saying, get away from that, get away from there, and he wouldn't. So he went in the cave, and then pretty soon he's coming running out because the tiger was right behind him, and then he just attacked him because, well, and there were tiny cubs there, and the tigress was protecting her babies. So anyway, pretty soon my father says, I did not know what was going to happen after that because he was on the ground and tigress was on top of him.
Oh no.
And so my father shot the gun in the air, and that's what protected. And then actually one of his person who went with my father had killed the tiger. Mm. And anyway, so when my uncle, we called him uncle because that was my father's best friend. So my uncle came to town, we would always say, show us the scar, show us the scar. And the scar was right in his back shoulder, all the way across to here, came from the chest. So tigress had wrapped around him and just scratched all the way. And so it was amazing seeing that. And then that was one of the adventure of my father hunting in the jungle.
Wasn't there another story you told us about that same man who sat on what he thought was a log?
Yes. I do not think it was the same journey, mm-hmm. but they went to a different hunting trip, and actually that was my father.
Oh, okay.
That was my father. They were hunting and they didn't find anything, so they took a break. Mm-hmm. And so my father sat on this log. It had all green moss on it and everything, and they were sitting down and taking a break. So my father had an apple, and he cut the slice, and then took the knife after cutting the slice mm-hmm. of an apple, and he just put the knife, jabbed it on the log. Mm-hmm. He thought it was a log, but it was not. All of a sudden it moved, and the people who were sitting across from my dad, now remember they couldn't sit with my father because mm-hmm. So when the people who were sitting across from my dad, they realized what it was. They said, "Johanna, get up from there." And so my father got up and then moved away, and it was the biggest, oldest python ever.
Wow.
It was round and big, and it was very, very old. It was many years old. So we were just amazed listening to those stories. And these are just true stories from my father's jungle journeys in his early years, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for telling us your story. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.